Episode number 343.
We've been taught literally up to the end of college that it doesn't matter what everyone else thinks as long as the teacher gives me an A or B.
Great.
Welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff, where we talk about life, dreams, social media, and business.
Well, hello and welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff. You know your boy is always fired up and ready to bring you some fuego. But on days like today, days where I know that you're going to get not only some value, but we're going to bring you a legend. We are bringing you a legend in the game of life right now, folks. My man is literally seeking out his dreams and has done that in many different ways. Mr. Tyler Schmitt. Tyler, are you ready to be real?
I'm ready. I'm really ready to be real.
Hell yeah, baby.
Let's go.
Just looking at your bio, you're a young entrepreneur. You're a hustler, my man. You Team Gary V, a legend in the game. Gary Vaynerchuk inspired me so many years ago when I read his first book, Crushing It. And the dude is just literally since then putting out great content, no paywalls, no pay me for nothing. You get it for free. If you do it, most of the time it works if you put in the damn work, and sometimes it doesn't, just like anything. But the whole point is you move on to the next thing. And but you, my man, are obviously a young hustler, someone that knows how to build communities. I was checking out not only your Instagram at Tyler, which is an epic IG.
It's a nice flex.
I like that. And but you're helping obviously Team Gary V, and now looking at the new book, the bio of now the general manager of 137pm, which is a really awesome community. Obviously lots of different topics: gaming, hustling, disruption. I got onto you guys with the Card Talk pod, which you do. I think it's weekly, right? You guys do that weekly? Yeah, a weekly show about the industry, about what's going on with moving and shaking. Ooh, spicy, baby, some heat. So take me back into a little bit into your story when you were first getting started. Were you always into businesses? Were you always into marketing? Were you always into hustling?
Yes, but like as a interest base, it wasn't. I was always into business,
right?
On the tech, right? I'll say everything for me started the day I watched Steve Jobs intro the iPhone. I grew up playing video games, Sega Genesis. I liked technology, Game Boy. So really video games led to an interest in Apple, right? I think that was the first move in my household. Dell PCs, Gateway PCs, free AOL online, Instant Messenger, right. Big Sims, played Sims like heavy. Yeah. Grew up going to CompUSA and shit, buying Roller Coaster Tycoon. Like gaming was it, right?
Yeah.
But it was done on the big ass tower with the big ass screen.
Yep.
And then boom, we bought an Apple computer.
Wow.
Right? The family bought an Apple computer. And then you open that shit and you're like, yo, I ain't going, like, this is what you mean. Why are you fucking over here with the PC? Nah. Apple, clearly the world's going somewhere. Crazy. Boom. It was the computer that moved around on the half basketball. And it was like, all right, this shit is crazy.
So
boom.
Different.
I remember the day Steve Jobs gave his keynote announcing the iPhone. I looked at my dad. I watched it with my dad. He came home from work. I'm like, this is the shit. I had $500 in like a bond that my uncle gave me when I was born. When I turned 16, I could do something with it. I bought 5 shares of Apple. Woo! And that was like, from there on, I read macrumors.com every single day. Then I was on Twitter, had the iPhone the second I could, started a Twitter account in 2009. So I was always into like business, tech, marketing, internet shit. But it wasn't
monetized. It wasn't
like, it was just something I liked. It wasn't like that's something you do. And I went to Penn State, and I was always kind of wanted to be in leadership positions, doing stuff with the lacrosse team, joined a fraternity, it was the president. And like, I always wanted to be doing shit, staying busy. My own internal programming is if I am like around action and energy, I am always moving. If you put me somewhere that's chilled out, I'm a fucking chill it the fuck out.
Do nothing. So you go with the vibe
nothing.
of the room. You go with the vibe of the room.
and which led to stumbling into, I graduated. I won a hospitality. I love hospitality. My mom, it was always a million people at the house. Like I love being around people and jamming and doing shit. And so I went to hospitality, opened a restaurant when I graduated college. 3 months in, I'm like, nah,
tough business.
This ain't it. This ain't it for me. Yeah, exactly. I ain't doing this. This ain't it. I want to, because all I wanted to do was run the Twitter account for the restaurant. Or run the Instagram account, do dope shit. So then I'm like, all right, the guy who I opened the place with, boom, boom, boom. His wife worked in advertising. Coffee led to another coffee, led to another coffee, led to an entry-level job at VaynerMedia. 275 people, started November 2013. Entry-level employee, community manager was the title. I worked on Brisk Iced Tea. I worked on Anheuser-Busch. I worked on the Jets account. And then one day I went into check in with the manager, and they're like, AJ Vaynerchuk's looking for an assistant. I was like, stop the sentence. What the fuck do I need to do? Put me through the ringer. I want that job. It was my hospitality vibes. It was get close to the sun.
Right. And
from the second that day started, I've really put 24/7 of my life into the VaynerX ecosystem, and it's been amazingly fruitful and fucking ton of fun and a massive challenge. And I've learned an immense amount from Gary, from AJ, and we're only just getting going, really.
Absolutely, dude. The world is full of abundance, man. And you guys are doing it in many different ways. And but I always like to say that's a good point to those that are listening. Just put your hand out sometimes, you forget how simple it can be just to be like, dude, I step up. So many people don't.
You got to create your own opportunities, and you got to make left field moves.
Right.
You got to make left field moves. Like what you don't realize is, pretty much you can go. Comfort is tough, meaning grow up in a nice family.
Right.
Food on the table, friends, nice clothes, nice high school, nice college.
Right.
And you don't necessarily realize that everything around you is telling you what people want for you. And you can pick up your head and realize your college counselor, they want you to go get a job at Deloitte or JP Morgan or for me, it was hospitality. So what was it? Four Seasons, Marriott, go work at Darden, the big brands. Why? Because then they put them in the pamphlet and tell the next wave of parents, hey, you come to this school, we get you $70,000 job when you leave, return on your investment. Boom. They don't want you. They don't give a fuck about where you're going to work. They want to tell you to go there so that they can go and sell it. Parents, they love you, but they want to play safe. They don't want you to go take a startup job for $25,000. Might not lead to anything. Don't waste your time. Why would you play in fear? Or like, why would you leave safety?
Right.
So, but it's no fault. I'm not saying it in a way of it's really like people are blatantly like trying to control your life. It's just the way that these systems work, and you gotta try and find a way to be like, nah, this is what I want to do, and you got to go for it. It's not easy.
It's real, dude. I know. I remember the days like I was going through college and I'm business school, and I had a real legacy opportunity fall in my lap. With my dad was an accountant, and he said, "Hey, why don't you just take over our practice?" I was like, "Nah, Dad, I can't do numbers all day. I like numbers. I did it for a job. I know how to do it. I know how to do it."
And that's like on the like, yo, look at me, Travis. Your next 30 years, you're just chilling. You run the practice.
Exactly.
Like you're good.
Right. It's like, dude, you can literally have the layup, baby, instead of a struggle and maybe more stress and some of these things. But I made that decision to go, hey, Dad, I want to do advertising. I like marketing. I wanted to work, and doing big campaigns. And I love doing that. I love creating advertising campaigns and then eventually getting them on television or getting them on digital, and then seeing them work and seeing them customers come in. And then obviously even working with bigger brands like McDonald's and things like that, and seeing kind of how it works on a bigger level and what they're looking for. And, but I'm glad I took that opportunity, even though safety was there, even though safety was there, because a lot of us, there is safety. Maybe our family does have a legacy business. And for some of us, we're going to fall into that. That's fine. I accept it.
And some people like it. Some people want to do it.
Absolutely. You want to do farming. You want to do a dentist. My dentist is his dad's a dentist. He taking over his dad's dentist. it's understandable.
Yeah.
But for some of us, we need to take that shot. And so it's proven testament time and time again after doing over 370 episodes now. And for 9 years, interviewing all different levels of CEOs and entrepreneurs and startups, to big and small, is those that take the shot and put in the work usually win, you know, and are willing to adapt and willing to change and shit. We didn't expect last year 19 and all these different things. And hey, we're willing to pivot. We're making moves. But that leads me into now your story, because obviously you put in the work. Now you're maybe given even a bigger opportunity with the 137 PM kind of taking over the whole thing, managing it all, managing the brand, managing everything. I know you know how to build communities after looking at your IG and some of the profiles that you work with and or obviously have helped build. So now obviously is it into building mode? Is it into just
it's total
acquisition, trying to get more people listening, trying to get more people?
1,000%. It's total. Let's build this thing and figure it out. You know,
guys like a modern day, like almost ESPN.
That's exactly right. Anything you want, modern day ESPN, modern day Cartoon Network, modern day GQ, modern day Nick at Night. And I say Nick at Night because like everything now is the same, bro. I sit, right here. We're on a Zoom interview.
A Zoom pod, baby.
Right? Zoom pod. I can minimize this and I can pull up ESPN.com and I can watch the Euro 2020, like big time shit.
Absolutely.
On the same thing, I can go to TikTok and watch a 6-second video by a creator that has 5,000 followers or 5 million followers. So it's all in play. Or I can open up Discord and I can be just in some AIM chat room type.
Talking to people.
And it's all touch points. So it's in build mode for sure. And even we got apparel. So Abercrombie and Fitch. Like what, you know what I mean? It's all on the table. And you know, we just passed 3 years since we launched.
Wow. That's a big accomplishment, dude.
Yeah. But I really started and moved over in mid-February. So about 3.5 months in.
Wow.
And 80% of our 22-person team have started since mid-February.
So it's been a real pivot to this.
Yeah, obviously the 18 months kind of stretch of COVID like really was an inflection point, and we thought a lot internally and almost kind of pressed reset on what we're doing, and we're excited about it. You know, I think really the way that I would define what we're trying to do for 137 PM is be a cultural hub for those that are curious about what the hell is going on in this ever-changing, fast-paced world.
I love that.
Whether it's music, fashion, fitness, sports, tech, hip hop, cannabis, Web 3.0, NFT shit, like
hell yeah.
Whatever it is, house plants is something I'm super like on right now, agriculture and farming.
Right.
Because there's so much niche is dead. There's no such thing as niche anymore.
No.
You can find 100,000 people in 2 seconds that are into some random ass whatever.
Right.
And collaborations. I was just thinking because I'm like, Polar.
Oh, the seltzer, nice.
The seltzer life. But I'm like, 137 could do a flavor with Polar. Yeah. It's just all like, on the table.
Joe Rogan converted to, his Killcliff drink. Flamin' Joe. I drink that stuff, man. It's good. It's good.
It's all on the table now, man.
And Gary Vee, obviously, you got a leverage brand. Obviously, the culture itself is into the memes. They're into the news. They're into the vibe, if you want to call it. And I think it's important. There's not really. It's probably impossible for ESPN to kind of take that approach because they're so just sports that they can't go into obviously cannabis or they can't go into gaming.
And it's so ESPN. Which matters. It means so much to us. As a brand,
it's
right?
Everything.
Like everything. It is really hard for ESPN to reinvent itself.
It's almost impossible.
Just like these legacy businesses, it's not easy. It's really not easy, especially in media. You've got these massive contracts, obviously TV and commercial, like how your business model is set up,
right?
Especially in media, these legacy brands have such long tail kind of relationships. ESPN, part of Disney, which has these macro like TV inventory deals. So they need to invest in continuing to build audience on their TV. Meanwhile, every day they lose a viewer to some random TikTok that is doing, investigative journalism about the baseball scandal of people cheating. And like you know, the back. Like that should have been on Instagram the second Instagram launched, but you know, they've got contracts with these guys and they can't let them just become all these massive, you know, brands on their own, because then they lose leverage at the negotiating table as ESPN. So I have a lot of empathy for these bigger brands that are harder to really move into the new age media.
Right. They got to partner up with you guys. That's what they got to do.
Yeah. And they've attempted a lot of these things and they're getting better slowly but surely, but the world moves incredibly fast. I mean, they did a show with Barstool, if you remember, and then Barstool went on, and within the first day they were like, no, we can't, brand safety. We got all these you know, people are buying TV spots. You can't say the word shit because we got a 10-year contract with Frito-Lay, and in the contract, so it's like,
it's ridiculous. You're right. Yeah. I mean, it's so true. I worked in the TV business. I remember telling my boss back in the day, hey, we can do this, this, and this. And, you know, now they're actually doing it, guys and gals, because they have to survive. Yeah. Let's just be real. The money is not the same as it was back in 2005 when the bread was just rolling in.
Yeah.
So they're doing these things. You see logos on news segments, and you see back in the day, you can't combine the news with the marketing. It doesn't work. It's separate things. But now when the money gets tight, you know, and so I think that's what's going to happen slowly for them all. And if they don't realize having these co-op partnerships and some of these things like that, it just helps scale for them. Yeah. They can't do it. They can't do what you guys are doing. You guys need to have a segment, a 5-minute segment or a 30-second segment or 2-minute segment on these shows.
Yeah.
And they bring you in, you give them the headlines, boom, 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 boom. And maybe they got some equity in you guys. So there's a reason why they would want to do that. You know, I think that's the only way that these bigger brands will do it is they want to have some equity.
Yeah, for sure.
The brands they promote.
Yeah, and then they have the media right deals with the leagues. And how does that play out over time? You slowly see Amazon pick these things up, right?
Oh yeah.
So like if you think about Amazon, they own Twitch. So it's funny. The NFL, they can't just, as much as they'd want to, wink, wink, just give Amazon all the rights deals. They can't do that just in one fell swoop. It'd crumble, you know, these businesses, CBS, Fox, they can't deal with it. And the CEO, you know, Roger Goodell, like humans are humans. He's not meeting with the CEO of CBS and being like, hey, we're going to, pull the rights and dominate business. So it's like death by 1,000 cuts, move over to Amazon a little bit. Once Amazon has the rights, you know what's going to come out? Twitch streamers. All these micro Twitch streamers are going to be able to pay Amazon $20 a game to broadcast it on their own channel. Like John Madden, the notion of John Madden getting $100 million or whoever it is, Peyton Manning or Tony Romo.
Right.
Like,
commentators.
Amazon's going to sell the ability to stream a game on your own channel, and you do whatever you want over the top commentating on it.
I love that.
And then boom, break that down into TikTok content.
That's killer. That is an unbelievable idea of licensing it and having other people comment over it, because we're seeing that. You see that people do reaction videos and they do
these
all
visual effect videos on Instagram, right? The new age highlights, put the flame on the ball. Like it's LeBron James goes down the lane, turns into Iron Man, dunks the shit. Like
unbelievable.
Those are 16-year-old kids in their bedroom around the world that know how to use it. And, and ESPN's paying their video editor $175,000 and he never has opened Premiere in his life.
And the big thing about a lot of those people is that they don't want to do that shit. Because I remember working in the TV business. They don't want to do anything more than they have to do.
You're right.
A lot of them are set up and they got the protection of their unions, and they're good, And but I remember, at some point, someone got fired, and so
the world changes
for sure. In this world, I always say that. I always remember that because working in the TV business, I watched from 2009 to now them eliminate a lot of. Accounting got, centralized. Production got centralized. Billing, and then all of a sudden the people, the girls that put the spots in it, all of them got let go. And next thing you know, it's pretty lean over there. And
if you watch NBA Finals now, the shots like Trae Young's been a bunch of them where they use the DSLR camera and it's the focused in, walks with them. Like there was that LSU clip of Joey Burrow coming out the tunnel before the national championship that went viral of the single shot, and the way that they focus. That camera, if you knew the cost of that camera compared to the cost of the camera that they use to produce a game, meanwhile, everyone only cares about that shot because that's how they consume content now.
Right. That's true.
Those are interns with a $2,000, $2,500 piece of equipment shooting that, and people want that. Meanwhile, you're paying the rig guy and the $100,000 camera setup.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I always remember telling my customer, I said, dude, most of your commercials and stuff are coming off this thing, man. I mean, You wait. I always told.
I always have to push my team because as creators, especially when you go into job mode, it's tricky because we consume, right? We consume content and we subconsciously know what is good. But then when you go as a creator to try and make it, especially if you're in a job environment, you think about what is my boss or where is this? Okay, I make this content. Who's approving it? Yes. I'm playing to them, not to if I was the consumer, would I actually think this is good or not?
Right. And when you're a person, you can just post it and there's no words.
Yeah, like whatever, and you're a little bit more apt to be funny. You're a little bit more tuned into what the people will listen to. When you're doing it as a job, if my manager says it's good, I'm on to my next thing.
It's so true. Yeah, we're afraid to take those risks. And sometimes it's understandable. We don't want to
I get it. Yeah, you don't want to deal with it.
It's
we've been taught literally up to the end of college, which is the most backwards ass shit, that it doesn't matter what everyone else thinks as long as the teacher gives me an A or B. My mom can say it's the best article, essay in the world.
Right.
The teacher thinks it's a C. Well, I need to figure out how the teacher thinks it's an A, not how if it's good or not.
So
right.
True.
And the college is ass backwards because you pay for someone to tell you if you're good or not. People don't realize, like, yo, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Professor, in the real world, I'm paying you, meaning that you work for me. Sorry, I couldn't make class today. I'm a bad person.
Right.
I paid $1,200 for that class.
You got paid money for that shit for to be not there. And then also the craziest thing is they don't even teach you how to manage your money or your emotions after college. And those are two very, very important things. They go together. And if you don't know how to manage your emotions or your money, you're going to have many problems in life. I mean, I know that myself just going through my journey and now come up on my 40 years here at the end of the year here is that, dude, those things, if you don't get those things right, it'll fuck you up. It will mess you up. And and there's no right answer. There's some kids that got their money right and their emotions right at 20, but they should teach that to kids, and how to manage your money. Do what you did. Pull that $500 out of the bond and put it in Apple stock and take risk and then hold them and see what happens. And but then that leads me into kind of your passions and interests and why we also got in touch, because obviously the Car Talk Pod and
Yep.
I like a lot of your calls. I like a lot of the things that you guys are jiving with on the show. But so and outside of business, a lot of your passions and interests also are into sports cards, into Pokemon, into soccer, and also you got me on the art box.
Let's go the Harry Potter joints.
Oh yeah, hell yeah!
Yep,
dude. Why not, dude?
Yep,
good values and wax is expensive in many categories. So why not try different, like you said, the left ball kind of areas.
Left field, totally.
So outside of work, then at night you're scoping eBay, you're making sales, you're making deals, working with people directly on your IG. Yeah,
I've fallen in love with that. It's twofold. It's one, the actual collectability, the cards. I like them. I collect a lot of purple cards now. I don't know why.
I like
just
that.
like this part of my life where I just vibe. Like purple resonates a lot with me. But then also there just is. I went to the National with Gary. I guess it'll be 3 summers ago or 20. I don't even know. We missed a year. So however many years ago.
2018, I think we're 20.
Yeah. And it's just so fun to do like the transactional
make the business. Deals, to make the deals, to make the trades happen.
Yeah, to be in the mix is like, and I view sports cards as a vehicle for that because it's very understandable. Again, huge sports nut growing up. And then you layer it on with like other people that are having fun with it, transactional business. I can't put a price on it. It's been fun for networking and friends and
Most of the transactions too are a win-win. Someone wants this, you do a trade. I mean, obviously, let's be real. There's scammers out there. There's all sorts of different things.
Of course, there is everywhere, though.
Everywhere. Every business. I remember hearing a furniture guy, a doctor tell me, hey, we got this furniture and they signed me $100,000 in furniture and never delivered it. And I was like, what the like this shit exists everywhere.
Oh, my goodness. Everything. My head went to just like gas stations. I'm like, yo, you know how many like Wells Fargo?
Oh shit!
Wells Fargo is scamming the shit out of people for mad years. Yo, I don't want to hear about how crypto is for criminals.
Oh yeah, that's
one of the biggest banks in the world.
JP Chase Morgan and all these fools, they get penalized all the time. They just pay the penalty.
Exactly. Let's go through the rap sheet of the top 150 Fortune 150 CEOs. How many of them got fined? Miss me with the whole crypto is for criminals.
Oh yeah, it's bullshit. I've been in crypto since 2015. It's an interesting ride. I always tell my dad because it's like, I said, hey dude, when this thing was $200, they were never talking about it. Now it's 30 grand. All I want to talk about it. And when it's 60 grand, they want to say it's down to 30. Hey dude, this thing was just 3 grand
yesterday,
not too long ago. And if you scale back a little bit longer than that, like I know Gary got into Ether and some of these, Ether was $20, dude. So come on, man, scale back a little bit. And I always remind people that you need to hit the 5-year chart on these things and not the 5-day chart on many investments, because when you do that, you realize you've done pretty damn well for yourself if you had held, and went through the pain and maybe take some profits. And so you are going to the National then? I watched the video. Gary said he's buying every damn
he's coming in hot. So we got the National. We got a couple big shows coming up. I'm very much excited for.
Are you going to go to Dallas then too?
I'm going to Dallas. Yep.
Nice.
And we're going to Dallas, and then we're going to go to Atlanta for a day on the same weekend. They're back to back. They're like, it's the same weekend card shows.
Nice.
We're just going summer of card talk, baby. Summer of card talk.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yep. Is there something you're going to buy, or you just like to go and kind of feel it out? Do you have a strategy typically?
Yeah, there's definitely stuff I want to buy. Like I really want to get my hands on one of Cristiano Ronaldo's rookie cards. I'm probably going to have to trade a good amount. They're definitely not cheap.
Any brand?
Fortunately,
is there a certain one that you want?
His Mega Cracks, which is numbered in the set 137. So that's like pretty special to me.
A big deal to you guys too. Collecting cards, guys. We gotta send them as many 137 cards as we can find.
Yep. So I actually am going to go live on IG today. I have a ton of mail. I just moved into this new apartment. All my walls are empty. I got no artwork up yet. Coming at you from this weird angle, but I just got Wi-Fi installed yesterday. And I'm definitely going to try and pick up one of those. And I'm close to closing a deal on a sealed Pokemon Red Game Boy game. Like I think sealed and graded video games are going to bubble up.
Bro. I'm all about it, baby. I'm all about it. I started learning that. My boy Jamil at Mealy Pops.
Jamil's the man.
He put me onto a lot of different things, and that was one of the ones I started picking them up. I was like, dude, these things are not 9 point. The highest grade video games, they ain't going away. You can't get Atari games.
Exactly right.
And I started learning
talk about nostalgia, bro. Like,
nostalgia.
And there's so many of them. Diddy Kong Racing, like, is some weird one that people like. People love Diddy Kong Racing for some reason.
Oh, yeah. And those things are going to appreciate because there's low populations. You can't go back and get a sealed thing. And then also, let's just be real. The sports card companies are having grading problems right now. Yeah. I know I have 1,000 cards at PSA. I'm slowly getting them back. Here and there, I'm slowly getting cards back. I'm grateful. But the cards we're getting back, guys, are going to be less grades because let's just be real. They're kind of controlling populations.
Yeah.
But WADA is a whole nother area that you can learn. It's a game. I started learning. I graded 5 video games. I don't know the grades yet, but you can buy, basically sealed games on eBay. You can kind of do your due diligence or obviously hustle like Gary likes to do, go hustle and find things at thrift stores and places like that for the kids out there that want to hustle. But then learn the game of grading video games. Why not? It's another skill. There was a big advantage to learning the game of grading sports cards, right? Like even like a few years ago, if you had learned that like 2-3 years ago, you'd been freaking on fire right now.
Cruising. That was a big. I didn't go there, and I know people that did, and we're just turning.
I don't even know how much they got. It's
$40 to grade a card, and it was adding $500 worth of value, and they were doing it at scale, hundreds of cards,
just selling it, and then just liquid, boom. So I think games are like that, and then comic books too are just another one.
Yeah, that's another one
because it's another little area that's nostalgic, but it's hard to get those things and
IP like its first appearances of these big time characters and all that. Right. For me, comic books, just as an individual, don't resonate as much, so I don't have the same kind of itch. But when I talk about the video games, when I see the games, I'm like,
you got to get it.
Hell yeah, this is fire. Like, I want Grand Theft Auto 3. Badly.
Oh, I just got that one.
Did you? Because that game, Grand Theft Auto 3, when it went from bird's eye to first person. The real one. That was what?
People
Yo,
are making
what?
deals too, bro, right now. I think
Yeah.
because of the market, So,
Mhm.
hey, I'd throw out some best offers and see what they say, man. And
I was in there last night throwing a couple out
hey,
there.
I'll give you half. I'll give you, 60%.
Yeah,
See what they say,
exactly.
baby.
What we
But now,
got?
man, we're about to take you into our top 10. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Apple or Android?
Apple,
Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
IG or Facebook?
Oh, interesting. IG,
IG. Chicken or steak?
steak,
Steak. Laptop or smartphone?
smartphone,
Smartphone. Spotify or Pandora?
Spotify,
Movies or video games?
video games,
Video games, like that. Reading books or listening to books?
reading books,
Stocks or real estate?
stocks.
Stocks. Or oceans or lakes if you can take a vacation right now?
Oh, that's a vibe. Lakes, bro.
Lakes. I love lakes, bro.
Lakes are
Hell
slept on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tying up.
Yep.
Having
Lakes are
fun,
fucking
baby.
slept
Lakes are
on.
the
Yeah.
shit, baby. Oh, man. They got
Lakefront property is super slept on.
super slept. And very peaceful, too, because a lot of times it's in the woods. And it also has
Mad community vibes. You know what's super dope is when you're out on a big lake and you see people that like that real boating
Absolutely.
lake lifestyle.
You're like, yeah, what's up?
You're like out like in the middle of the lake, like what's going on?
It's real, dude. It's real. I mean, and also for people out here, like in California, we got a lot of lakes because we don't got water as close. It's about 2.5 hours away. So there's a lot of lakes, a lot of fun.
The Thousand Islands up north, New York, St. Lawrence River,
Fire.
and the Great Lakes. Like the Great Lakes,
Oh,
if you
the
haven't
Great
explored the
Lakes.
U.S., the Great Lakes,
Oh,
crazy.
dude. They're like the ocean, man. You're like,
Straight
oh,
up. That's what I
God.
mean. You're like out in the middle of nowhere. You're like, where am I?
You're like,
I'm in the
these
lake,
are
bro.
big, baby. These are really great lakes. And when you're waking up in your day, my man, and you're getting yourself ready for your day, why do you love being you, Mr. Tyler?
Because there's so much. There's so much.
I love that,
There's
bro.
so much. I mean,
You take
there's
it
so
all
much
on,
time.
too, man.
There's so much to do. There's so much to explore.
Mm.
Shit. Go to India for 5 days. There's so much ways to change your perspective. That's why I love it. Because fuck. The energy that I came on here, I come on, boom, you hit that energy, and now my whole day is different.
I love you, bro. That's what it's
The
about,
whole day is
baby.
different.
Yep.
So that's what fires me up. Is you never know. And as long as you're willing to be open to it, whatever it is, shit.
And like you
That's
said
what
from the
fires me
beginning,
up.
put your hand up. Like when you're sitting in there, put your hand up for those opportunities because you just never know. And I love that. I love that you say that. And because the world is full of a lot of toughness for us all, but sometimes we don't realize the blessings that are just sitting right in front of us every day.
Right there.
Right there.
Whether it's your best friend and you're just having a normal day-to-day conversation, ask a different question than how you doing.
Ooh, I like that.
Boom, changes the whole like
what are you watching on TV
you
right now?
gotta
Or
like
something
just
different,
change the gear. If you need to manufacture a gear change, it's very simple.
Ask a different
Put on some shoes and go for a run for 1.1 miles.
Try
I promise you right after it, you're going to think of everything different. Or if you run every day, I don't know, go sit on a lawn for 30 minutes without moving. I promise you, you're going to be done with it and be like, yo, that changed my whole shit.
And it was probably hard for that person too. Because you know that, if you're someone that wants to move and stuff like that, meditation is very tough.
Yep.
Do you think you'll ever retire from the game of putting your hand up, taking those opportunities and building things?
Nah.
Love that.
Nah.
Keep the mind in the game, baby. Like Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett.
Got to. Yeah, those
baby.
boys are going.
Fucking boys are going, baby. Do you have a routine to start your day? How do you typically start your day?
I don't.
Yeah.
Grab my
Whatever
phone.
happens.
Yeah. The first thing I do, which I'm trying to be better at, is grab my phone. But, it's been, I feel like routine during COVID's been like all out of whack. And I'm excited. Now I got my apartment, start getting settled in, start building on some routine, trying to get some muscles going. You know what I'm saying?
The
Yeah,
flex
trying to get
game's
some
going,
muscles
baby.
going. Yep.
I like that. The Mojo Flex game. I like that. Has there been a skill that you're trying to master or get better at? Is there something you're trying to work at? Is there?
I would say the main thing I'm trying to figure out is two things. One that's more just like business operations is like scale and delegation. Ooh. So, what does like being a leader mean? where do you have to do and where do you have to put other people in position to do. That's one of my favorite things ever. It's like really finding people that have potential and then putting them in positions to let their potential blossom. That's a blast. But then Photoshop, like I gotta learn Photoshop.
That's a game on its own.
I gotta learn Photoshop because that's, I think, as a communication tool, invaluable. I think people that are good at Photoshop don't realize what that means.
Yeah, we're in a meme generation, so like one photo could like literally change the world. And some of the things you can do in Photoshop, you can't do in any other platform. So it's incredible. Yep. And an undervalued skill because, I mean, dude, like you said, you can do so many different things from gig work to your own work to working for a company. You can have 3 streams of revenue. You can be doing things just from one skill. It's like building a technology or building, an app.
And you could send it in that quick to anywhere in the world.
Shit, with NFTs and things like that, we're seeing it's a whole world on its own. Look at people.
Facts.
Do you have a favorite app on your phone or a tool that you like using? You pick up the phone, you're like, I love this phone. Besides the eBay app or besides I know people are in the whatnot now.
Rainbow Wallet is pretty dope.
Rainbow Wallet, okay. Tell us about Rainbow Wallet.
Is pretty dope. Rainbow Wallet is a crypto wallet.
Got you.
That just focuses very much on just the UI UX. Like it's very clean. It's very kind of Apple native. And you can see kind of all your crypto holdings in there along with your NFTs and
oh wow, your NFTs you can put in there too.
Yeah, you can put in there and they're nice and like give a nice display for them. So
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's
I think
good that they've embraced that.
Yeah, it's dope. Rainbow Wallet.
Rainbow Wallet.
Yeah, and then Apple Pay, like I think is.
I paid someone the first time. I paid my babysitter. She was like, "You can Apple Pay." You
texted her money?
I texted her money.
Yeah,
I was
it's
like,
fire.
This is fucking tough. This is dope.
People don't realize, bro. That's where the game's going to get crazy is when Apple, that ecosystem takes crypto.
Oh,
because I can send you 2 cents right now.
Right.
I could text you 2 cents.
Yeah, and across the borders.
Yep.
And you don't pay any fees to pull that shit out, that's what was always the biggest thing for me in 2015. Chamath Palihapitiya. I watched his videos enough times to say, I got to get some money into this thing. Yep. And thank God I did. And I've held a lot and I've sold a few times because, things pumped up a little bit. But overall, believe in it because of that one factor. One factor alone is just the fact that I could send money borderless, no fee to you.
Yep.
And that was to me just like a huge use case.
Crazy.
And obviously now you can see many different other use cases. But yeah, crypto is the real deal, man. And I think anyone that's not in it, it's a good time to buy like anything, like sports cards. There's always a good time on value. If you could,
and also just understand the tech. Like if if you missed the internet's amazing, I should have bought Amazon at $90. Well, the same thing's happening right now.
So, my man, if you could sit down and chop it up with anyone in the world, who do you want to sit down and chop it up today with?
Living
or dead, actually. We've had all different types of guests.
If it's living and dead, it's my mother's father, my grandfather, who I never got a chance to meet, for sure. If it's alive, I might say Wayne Gretzky.
Ooh, a legend right here. Mr. Wayne Gretzky.
Like the greatest.
The greatest.
Smooth as it gets. And I just ask him, like, what did it take?
How do you continue to not let that shit get to your head? It seems like a pretty, and his daughter's boyfriend or girlfriend with
Dustin Johnson.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, it's not a coincidence. And what I was saying early on is it's hard to, I think, break out of what you were born into. It's hard to break out of what you were born into. Wayne Gretzky's son has a much higher chance of being great at something because he understands that's baseline now in the family, right? Pamela knows how to deal with Dustin Johnson. Being close to Dustin Johnson is not easy. Man's one of the greatest golfers in the world. Right. All the sacrifices, travel, practice, boom, everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Right. Oh, and they have 2 kids. You have to have incredible patience or understand what it takes for Dustin Johnson to be Dustin Johnson. Most people are like, fuck you. Why aren't you home for dinner? I'm trying to raise kids over here, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, the dude's made $100 million playing golf last year. How do you maintain a good relationship? Okay, well, my father was Wayne Gretzky. So I understood what he had to do and how they stayed together, right?
It's so true. It's so true. They know the sacrifices.
The sacrifice, yeah.
Great on that level. And get to enjoy the beauties of it too, man. Let's just be real. With 100 million, baby, you can enjoy some beautiful things in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Has there been a book that has changed your life or that you either reread or kind of keep at your soul?
Book I think about all the time is The Power of Habit. I think it was Charles Duhigg. That's a good one.
I love that book, dude.
Yep.
That's an incredible book because you start to realize like how much your habits do affect life.
Everything. Yeah.
And if you make changes, it's always up to you to make those changes. Well, dude, my man, I know you got a busy life, brother. I appreciate your soul, your energy. Where's your favorite place for people to find you and learn more about you, my man?
IG. My personal IG is Tyler, @Tyler, Tyler. And then check us out on Instagram, 137pm.com or 137 as well. We also have the website. Hit me on DM on either of those. We'd love to hear from you. And thank you if you tuned in and listened to this.
Let's
Travis,
go, baby. I love
Appreciate
that.
the energy, bro.
1:37 p.m. We're going to definitely put that. Well, folks, you've been hanging out with my man, Tyler Schmitt and Travis Too Tall and Huff. We want to thank you so much for your time today. And let's keep being real.
Hell yeah.
What another epic episode. And if you enjoyed the episode today, can you please do me a favor and subscribe to our podcast, The Be Real Show, on iTunes or your favorite podcast platform. And also take a little time today, if you don't mind, and give your boy T Huff a review. I would really super appreciate it. And thank you so much for listening today. Do you want to get featured on podcasts, guys? You can be a guest. And that's right. You have a story, and the people, the good folks at I Love Podcasts, that's ILUV podcasts.com, do that every single day. This is a new company, guys, in the space of podcast agency. And they realize a lot of the people in the space it's just a commodity, and they don't care. And these folks care. And I literally love Kenny and the team at I Love Podcasts, and they are doing it right for their customers. So you guys can be a guest on a show. ilovepodcast.com. That's ILUV podcasts.com. Let's go.